This is Steve Ridgel, and I thought I'd take a few minutes and tell you about an invitation, an ask we make almost every Sunday at Hillcrest. In fact, I would say every Sunday we do some version of one of these, but there are four specific invitations we often make to help people with their Jesus journey. The first one is we invite people to come hear more about Jesus. Sometimes there's an assumption that everybody at church knows about Jesus. But I don't know about you, but we have a lot of visitors. Now, obviously, at the big events, Christmas, Easter, those kind of things, we Mother's Day, we have a lot of visitors. But we have visitors almost every Sunday, many of whom don't know about Jesus. Some may invite them, they came, and our prayer is like in the First Corinthians 14 passage where a non-believer comes into the assembly, falls to his knees and says, God is here. We want people to encounter the living God, the real Jesus, the movement of the Holy Spirit when they come into our services. And often they do. And so we always do some version of it. If you want to know more about Jesus, if you want to talk about your Jesus journey, if you want to figure out what it looks like, please come talk to one of us, come to one of our class. We do some version of some kind of invitation to learn more about Jesus. Second thing we do, we often say, if you are wrestling with what your decision about Jesus, if you're thinking about following Jesus, if something today has made you say, you know what, I do know Jesus, I do love Jesus, I want Jesus, what do I do now? Or if you know what you should do and you just put off being born again, being baptized, you've just really not made that buy-in, you've really not fully surrendered. We invite people, and one of the ways we invite people is we often, in our assembly, almost every Sunday, we baptize somebody. And we often say, if you are thinking about being born again, if you're ready to make your commitment to Jesus, and we invite people to come, either talk about baptism so they really understand that it's dying with Jesus and being raised to a new life, not just an act or a step or something you do to join our church. It's dying with Jesus, being raised to new life. Or we talk to them about, okay, when would you like to do that? And often it's in the assembly. Sometimes it's outside the assembly with just a handful of people, and we show the video, but that's the testimony, and they ask a lot of times. Third thing we often ask is we say, if you are here today and the Spirit is calling you home, you once were a baptized, active believer, and you've drifted away from Jesus. You've kind of quit on Jesus. You've chased another path, whatever, and you want to come home. Then we invite people to come talk to us about coming home. What does that look like? How do you experience God's forgiveness? How do you live in God's grace going forward from this point? And often, if we don't baptize somebody on a Sunday, we'll read somebody's coming home story. Because one of the reasons we invite people to do that is when they're coming, say, hey, a lot of people just say, let me just slide back into church like I never have been away, like I've always been, and nobody will know. And yeah, you can do that, but it doesn't really help you grow like you want to. Sometimes it's good just to clear the air and get up and say, I was, and then I wasn't, but now I'm back. Please help me. And the fourth invitation that we make sometimes is to say, if you're here and you're following Jesus and you're trying to live the Christian life, but there's something in your life that's keeping you from living your best life for Jesus. It may be an addiction of some sort, pornography or alcohol or work or money. It may be struggles in your marriage. It may be how you're parenting. But if you've got something in your life that's keeping you from following Jesus and living your best life for Him, then come talk to us and we'll speak truth into your life, pray with you, walk alongside of you, give you helpful tools, help guide you. And so that's the invitations we make every Sunday. Know more about Jesus, give your life to Jesus by being born again, come back home to Jesus, or get help for the struggle in the Jesus life. So maybe that's something you'll think about inviting every Sunday in your church. This is Steve Ridgel hoping, this Sunday and every Sunday, we have a lot of people respond to that ask.